It's going when it goes.
Yeah. It definitely comes down to experience.
I would hope.
Looks like that should be the toilet. Yeah, that's the toilet line. Almost looks like a hole right there. So you got a lot of scale build up, which we can go in and cut that out. I'm trying to find that floor drain tile. It's going under cold water there. There's a 45 or a key there. Ooh. See this?
Yeah.
It almost looks like somebody might have hit that with a... It's not the problem because it's still underwater.
Right.
Looks like somebody might have hit that with an auger or something. The auger wouldn't make that turn. Blockage. That's a soft clog is
Yeah.
what that is.
That part I understand. Yeah, he's had some crap. We have some heavy toilet paper users in the kitty crew this weekend.
So I can try and get that open with the camera. Let me pause this. I've located this at a depth of 4'2". This is under the deck. This is the transition from clay to PVC. Now I just have to figure out the best.
So there's cast iron, then clay, then PVC.
So there's a fracture there as well.
That's in the clay, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And the good thing, so then you can see where the fracture ends right at the piece, so it goes. The good thing about lining it all the way out, so where that transition is from clay to plastic, that's sealed off with a fern coat.
Right.
And weeds can, roots can get into that fern coat.
So you line all the way to the street, or you line all the way to the clean out down there?
I would line off foot into the plastic.
Okay.
I'll go ahead.
I didn't know you could do that. That's
yeah. I'll go ahead and run it all the way out. Make sure there's no issues with that. But if it's all PVC, it shouldn't be any issues.
So is it the cast iron looks the worst, or
the clay doesn't? I mean, besides a few cracks,
yeah.
the clay don't look bad.
It's obviously still getting water through.
Mm-hmm, yeah. I mean, you don't have any major offsets. You got a small one there, but it's not affecting the flow line. Sometimes, or a lot of times, you'll see with this clay, especially in the older houses, is they put the two together with concrete on the outside, and that's it. And then that concrete comes off,
Breaks off,
and then they start moving. And you'll see offsets that are causing bellies, and so there's your transition.
That's a cast iron to the
From
clay.
4-inch cast to 4-inch
It's
clay.
20-some feet of that plus from there.
Yeah, that could be 5-inch clay, but I didn't see that big of a transition with the 4 unless they were in 5-inch PVC, which is very rare.
PVC's out there. You want to see what it is?
The problem is I
Looks like
won't be able to see.
Oh, to clean out, you won't be able to see.
Yeah, because they could have done a 5.
Right, they could have put a 4-inch.
When I run the camera all the way out, I'll get a good look at it. So that was probably your clean out right there. And actually, I don't think I went far enough. That would have to have been an old outside clean out or a downspout or something, because
Could well be from the old edition here, where that used to
so
be.
we would just seal over that unless you tied something into it. When you
I shouldn't have. There's no plumbing in that section. So.
because that clean out should be a good ways back.
It's
That transition.
I mean, it's only 2 feet from the side of the house, but you were 10, 12 feet past that.
Yeah, that's some heavy scale right there.
That's probably where it's getting stuck, then, isn't it? Is that about where you think you're catching it?
It's hard to say
That whole section.
with this little soft clog,
Right.
it was closer back to the stack.
Okay. But that is some 2 inches thick stuff in it.
Yeah, that's pretty heavy, and that all has to you go in there with a set of chains, and you cut it off of there. So there's the stack, which I'm gonna say is, so that must have been the clean out, because I'll locate that and see. But that's an inlet, unless you have plumbing in the back. So we're going to flush the toilet on the first floor to confirm. No. It's coming from somewhere else.
Look like it.
No, it came from up
Might be the floor drain.
further. Yeah, it must be on the floor drain only. It may be in that big old mess of... There's where your issue was. You're probably 70% blocked right there.
That's a blocked artery.
And look where the water's coming down. If you flush that again, that's probably blocking your entire...
The drain from the whole stack.
As you can see the water coming in.
Yep.
Locate that.
Essentially, if we get this done, it should help clean up the upstairs drainage.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, because it's obstructed big time right there, and you're probably relying on static pressure. Like if somebody flushes toilet paper
Right.
from waste, it'll start to build up in there.
Right, and the toilet, actually, the tub hardly ever drains. The toilet flush is fine, but the tub hardly ever drains. Very, very
Yeah.
slowly.
Um,
Do you line both of those if you line them?
no, so what we would
Just the
do,
main?
unless you want to open the floor there,
Right.
or we'd have to figure out a way to do it from up there. But so what we do is we line. And that's what I'm trying to figure out because of the tile. Normally, in this situation, we would open the floor somewhere about here, and then shoot the liner straight out.
Okay.
You know, you're probably never going to match the tile.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you want us to open the floor here. But we can, and I would have to come back with a different camera to get down into
Smaller camera.
the floor drain. We can possibly line it from outside in,
Okay, that would come up to here.
but we have to be careful
It doesn't make the
of the actual. So depending on whether this is the main or if this is the main, on which way that liner's going to go. And
whether
if
it tries to follow it over there or tries
Right.
to follow it over here. Okay. Well, I know the toilet was added on some time.
and we checked
After.
that, and that toilet came in right here.
Right.
So something tells me, and I'll once I bring it back, I'll figure that out. But that's definitely some serious blockage there.
Right at the other stack. Because it seemed like when you used that stack, it was working okay. And you used the other stack, so it was getting clogged there probably.
And if it's
Right.
not vented properly up above, and it's it's utilizing some other vent in the house, that could definitely hold it up.
A couple of vets up there, I don't know how good they are either.
I'd say the bathtub, just the bathtub being affected, is probably hair. If there's any females.
I'll tell you what, he's run that several times over the years, so. And we haven't used that either in 2 or 3 years.
Should be coming up to 45, probably right here. Don't know if it's dragging a little more. There it goes. Let's see if that's a wire, if it's just a 45.
Honestly, God, looks like a clogged artery. It's that bad.
So the way this runs is this runs across here, 45. So this, we may want to run some water in that floor drain there. That has to be the floor drain. Can you flush that toilet again? I don't think. Yeah, so that's coming from behind us. So
It's coming from there, so that's where the main drain goes?
yeah, the main is going this way, and then so the next, this one here is for the floor drain, or could be a combination, could be a shower too, but the toilet is actually back here. You can see the water flowing. It's literally like right in here. Right there. So that's the toilet line.
So it's coming straight down,
Yeah.
and then down 45 in here, going that way.
And then another, T or a Y going to that. I don't know. Trying to think of the best way. It's harder to shoot a liner upstream. There's actually looks like there's a crack. See that? That's in the wall or under the floor. Because you can see how my camera's pointing straight down. I'm sitting there like this. And I'll probably become, that's actually the bottom of the 90 is what it is. On the back side of the 90.
Coming from here would do it okay, though, because you're going to be... That'd be the spot to come from?
We could shoot the liner from this stack, but the drywall would have to go. So we have to get down to the 4-inch.
Okay.
If that's not a problem, we would basically have to cut this out. Would that go around to the washing machine?
Yeah, wash and dry.
We'd pretty much have to cut that down, cut this arm off here, cut this here, and then remove the, I don't know if it's a Fernco or ProFlex or whatever fitting
oh,
they've
it's
got.
attached to them.
And then we could start the liner at that cast iron and shoot it out. The thing is you're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, possibly 5 Dan cuts. So if you want to reinstate that clean out in the floor, basically what we do is we blow the liner through, and then anywhere there's a branch line coming in, we have to go in with this. It's an $85,000 cutter. And cut that liner.
So you go through the liner afterwards and hope you're in the right place?
Well, we mark it.
Yeah, I know you're marking it with this, which is...
Not only that, but what they'll do is...
How does that seal when you do that?
So as long as you don't have any issues with your branch lines, when the liner is expanding... Let me pause this.
It basically seals.
So what I'll do is I'll reset the counter here. I'll mention all the Dan cuts. We got one here at 3 o'clock at roughly 3 foot 2'2". We'll have one right before the 45. Right here at 3 o'clock, 4" 45 to the left. So behind all this debris here, there is a 3 or 4 inch stack for the upper levels. It's just hidden. And there'll be another floor drain here, 29 feet. And it's yet to be determined on whether we would cut the clean out that's in the floor. I'll mark that as well. There's a clean out in the floor. So we have roughly 41 feet of 4 inch cast.
Don't get all concerned about the vertical stuff. It's the horizontal stuff that's a problem, I see.
As far as lining?
Yeah.
I
mean, I know you can bring it up here.
Yeah, majority of the time, because you don't have water sitting,
right, sitting it all
and all that, yeah, your stacks aren't as much of an issue. So we got 61 foot of 4 inch liner. Put a little bit of debris sitting here, flush out. So here we go to SDR. Looks like it's wrapping around. That's several 45s in it.
Yeah, where they took it to, I can see that happening.
45s are definitely better than 90s. So there's definitely plenty of landing room.
Seen the cleanup coming in by though. I bet you have a lot of issues when you got clay going out into the street, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
At least they took that out for us.
Right. Was this done when you got off of septic, or was this?
Yes, they have. When they put the subdivision in behind us, they took us off and hooked us up for free, which was nice.
Yeah.
That was a big expense to us.
That looks like your clean out. You kind of see it rising right there.
Check it off the street.
How long it is. I'm only 200 foot long. I think I can go like 94.
Say there's not likely to be anything wrong with that part.
Looks like your tap coming up right here, maybe. Kind of see something off in the distance. Or it's going to drop down to the tap. That's about as far as she wants to go.
Sounds about right. It's a 400 foot lot and you're about halfway through it. So. Well, that explains a lot more than what my wife was trying to tell me.
What did they? It's something they told her?
They said, we're not sure if it's cracked, but We can bring our little water sprayer thing in and clean it out for you if you want, but we're not sure that's going to work.
Well, the last thing if we don't do the work and get a quote from somebody else, and they can come cheaper or whatever, the last thing you want to do is let somebody try and descale that with a jetter. Oh. If you're going to descale, which is what you need, they need to have the proper equipment. The reason for that, if somebody tries to jet that with the Warthog, which is a nozzle for a jetter, right, it breaks the cast iron off in chunks. And that's when you have problems. Yeah, with the Bacote, with what we descale with, it takes it off in the size of coffee grounds.
Nice small layers.
It's like a dust.
No, I'm not. I've heard too many good things about you guys. So. As long as it doesn't bankrupt me, I'll be okay.
Right.
I want it done. Probably gonna be moving in a couple of years.
And I never try to. Some people take what I'm going to say the wrong way. I never try to know somebody's finances, but if anybody's like me, we have financing through Kemba, and it's 12 months, 0%. So, I don't care if I need to buy a washer, dryer, TV, and freezer. If they're offering any kind of deals, I'm using their money.
I'm not concerned about that so much because.
And then I just pay as soon as I get the bill.
There's cash in there. I
had one time where if you bought the whole kitchen appliance package, you got a $750 freezer for free as long as you finance it.
Yeah.
So I jumped on.
Because they assume you're not going to ever make the payments.
Yeah.
They'll get rich.
Yep. Or, sometimes Home Depot and Lowe's is offering 10% off if you have a card. And if I got a big purchase, I'll just open it and then close it. Pay it off and close it as soon as I get the bill. So basically, the way it normally works with the descale, if it's the only service we're doing, it's $5,800. If we're doing another service like a liner or a dig or whatever, then that becomes an add-on, and the descale is only $1,800. Okay. The liner is between $155 and $165 a foot. And I think it said 61 feet, was it?
49. I don't know. You got the numbers there. I'm sure you can find it. So in the 10 grand range, is what you're saying? 11, 12. Is that where we was?
It's less than 61. There it is. There it is, yeah. So yeah, it's 61 feet. Just a quick
It's 9 grand plus 1,800 now. 50.
I hate to say a number and.
No. I'm not going to hold you to it right here anyway. You can put it together and let me know. I mean, I just had to have a septic tank put in my dad's lake house, $25,000.
Oh wow! Where's his house?
Down in Warsaw, Kentucky.
So if I do 155 a foot, that's 94.55 plus 1,800. It's 11,255. That's 61 feet of liner.
Plus cuts. Or the cuts.
Plus the cuts. With that many cuts, I may be able to get the liner price down a little bit. Because those cuts add up quick. Do you think you'd want to go ahead and just line over the floor clean?
Pretty certain it's not going to work pattern.
Yeah. The only thing that stinks is how far away the clean out is outside. Now, the good thing and the bad thing is if you didn't have floor drains or a bathroom down here, and the only way you knew that you were backing up was gurgling or something upstairs, there's no taking this off. So if you do have a clog, you're going to know it with a little bit of water coming up, so you can always take that off. If you didn't, if you want to save the $400 and not cut that out.
Right.
And depending on how it's plumbed, I mean, like if you take the cap off and look straight down in there and you see this pipe, and you can always even just go in there with a hole saw
Yeah, that's true.
and cut it out. We'll do that with 6-inch outside clean out sometimes. Because our Dan
This
cutters.
stuff, like I say, the material itself is solid enough. It's not going to tear up or rip if you were going
Right.
through it. It wouldn't destroy your whole
Yeah.
zip line if you did
No,
it.
it is a structural liner.
Yeah, but stuff I've seen looks really, really hard, like almost as hard as a PVC.
Right. And that's the thing too is, the PVC Schedule 40 is really hard.